It was designed to have the tiers elevated to give a sense that with reading, with learning, your soul can be elevated. We want people to inquire, we want people to investigate, we want people to discover and increase their curiosity.
Si vous comparez dans l'ensemble des pays arabes, on est certainement le centre de conservation, de restauration et de protection du patrimoine le mieux développé. Il y a la préservation matérielle avec la conservation, mais il faut aussi protéger légalement, empêcher les trafics et permettre, quand ça a été volé, de la restitution à ses propriétaires.
I'm Miranda Ratti, and this is Qatar National Library. It's a vital part of the country's goal in diversifying away from oil and gas to become a knowledge-based economy. But as Adil Halim discovered, it's also a treasure trove of information, from the region's culture and history to cutting-edge digitization technology.
The awe in their eyes as they step in, as their eye scans the whole building, is really pleasing to see.
This is not your parents' public library. The Qatar National Library's purpose-built design is layered in symbolism.
Once you come in, your eyes can actually see most of the sections of the library. It was designed to have the tiers elevated to give a sense that with reading, with learning, your soul can be elevated, your consciousness can be elevated. The beauty of this building is it's fully illuminated by natural light, also another symbolism for the elevation of the soul through light, through learning.
Hind Al-Khulaifi believes modern libraries should also serve as community hubs. Of course, you'll find books, plenty of them in fact, but you'll also find study spaces, innovation stations, and sensory rooms.
We want people to inquire, we want people to investigate, we want people to discover and increase their curiosity through having access to such an abundant amount of resources across different subjects.
The Qatar National Library aims to create an open space for learning. So while someone may, for example, be drawn to the library's innovation station to pick up an instrument or even record a podcast, the hope is that they'll also be inspired to pick up a book and learn more about the theory behind it. Designed by renowned Dutch architect Rem Koolhaas, Qatar National Library opened its doors in 2018. At the heart of the QNL, you'll find the Heritage Library, resembling an archaeological site and home to maps, manuscripts, and photos documenting the region's rich history.
The exhibition is focused not only about the Arab history, it's focused about the Islamic history in general, Islamic civilization. How, for example, the manuscript traveled from area to area until the people start to exchange their knowledge.
That knowledge transfer is symbolic of the concept of the National Library. As Qatar moves from an oil-based to knowledge-based economy, QNL provides a platform to share knowledge both physically and digitally.
It's very important to read about the region from the other perspective, the traveler's record, because they were the pioneers, I would say, since the 15th century, since the 16th century. They came to the region with different purposes. With their diaries, we can read the past of that time. As you can see, we are having in display one volume from the second edition of Description of Egypt by Napoleon Bonaparte.
The library has one of the earliest references of the French expedition to Egypt in the 18th and 19th centuries.
It's considered as a first illustration for Egypt at that time because many scientists, many historians, many scholars, they document every part during that expedition. So it's one of the important primary resources to see how the life was over there from different perspectives.
The Heritage Library is also home to the first printed map, dating back to the 15th century, that ever mentions modern-day Qatar, identified in Latin as Qatara with a C. The next step is to digitize those ancient materials to preserve them for generations to come. The library's digitization specialist can convert 2,000 to 2,500 pages per day.
We started in 2015. Till now we reached more than 14 million pages between books, manuscripts, periodicals, posters, maps, photographs, and much more. We're focusing on the language of Arabic, so we're trying just to enrich the content of Arabic and to enable it online for the researchers, educators, and even for the simple users, so anyone from anywhere, anytime can access that collection.
And while heritage works may sound like niche material, that's not necessarily the case. In 2021, the library says more than 2.5 million people used its electronic resources.
I think it clearly proves that the heritage material, when it's put online and it's freely accessible to everyone, as we do, it really has a lot of potential. It's something that's of interest of a lot of people, not only specifically from the country, but really from the region, from the whole world. We get online visitors from the whole world.
And it doesn't stop there.
Aside from digitizing our own collection, we're also working with different partnerships. For example, our partnership with the British Library to digitize materials about the Gulf in their archives for the world to see, made accessible to everyone. So that's a very important part of our role as being the guardian of the region and Qatar's documentary heritage.
Preserving the country's rich heritage in an ultra-modern library, one book at a time.
QNL is home to more than 1 million books. Readers can choose to relax anywhere in the 42,000 square metre seating area. And while it has all the things you might expect from a library, including a cafe, children's section and restaurant, what perhaps makes it most unique is the Preservation and Conservation Department. Past the section of the library that's open to the public, down in the basement, there's another hugely important area of QNL, the IFLA Preservation and Conservation Regional Centre, or PAC. Its mandate is simple: help protect books and manuscripts from across the Arab region.
Il y a des millions de manuscrits arabes et islamiques dans la région. Il n'y a pas assez de moyens pour les préserver et les conserver. Donc on ne peut pas non plus se substituer à tout le monde et sauver tout le patrimoine, mais on peut former des gens. Donc on a un service ici d'assistance technique où on apporte de la formation, des conseils techniques, et on héberge aussi des gens ici pour suivre des formations sur tous les problèmes de conservation, de préservation, que ce soit sur les manuscrits, sur les journaux, sur les cartes. Et on peut comme ça apporter ce qu'on appelle des capacity building pour aider les gens à progresser et mieux prendre soin de leur collection.
Conservation technologist Farid Al-Shashani specialises in inorganic materials. His role at QNL is all about prevention of damage, conservation and risk management. And it's a varied job. Right now, he's assessing the metals in this astrolabe. Farid and other members of the team look after all the items in the Heritage Library, as well as books, maps and manuscripts.
We have a system for monitoring temperature and humidity that works remotely, connected via Wi-Fi. So just looking at the computer, I can check the temperature and humidity in storage areas and in exhibition. And also, if we have objects on loan, this system allows us to connect to any Wi-Fi in the world, and we monitor it remotely from our computers and actually our smartphones.
In 2022, QNL opened the first mass de-acidification plant in the region. Books or newspapers produced after the 1850s have more issues than older manuscripts, as the materials or wood pulp used are more likely to be acidic.
This de-acidification plant is a system that uses a material called magnesium oxide that is suspended in a solution. And let's say the thing that makes this system special is that it treats in mass. So we don't treat just one item or like 10 items. We can treat up to like 50 items per day. And then when we finish the treatment, we put them in the dryers. And that takes all the liquid that was used and that is remaining in the materials, it takes it back and puts it back in the system. So it recycles the material somehow. And so it's cost effective, environmental friendly.
The PAC Centre's mandate of book protection extends beyond conservation. Experts here are focused on training and tackling a widespread and growing problem: smuggling. The trafficking of historical records and other archive materials has been rising in the MENA region due to the number of countries experiencing conflict and upheaval. But books and literature are much less likely to be protected by national legislation than other artefacts. That's why the PAC Centre training sessions on the laws surrounding smuggling and looting are so important.
On a financé le voyage d'experts yéménis pour venir ici, participer avec nous avec des formations, leur faire rencontrer aussi les experts internationaux de la police et des douanes qui n'ont peut-être pas l'occasion d'aller facilement en ce moment au Yémen, leur expliquer les procédures, le cadre légal, parce qu'il faut comprendre le cadre légal pour pouvoir mieux lutter contre ces trafics, leur expliquer les processus de restitution. Et on a ici développé avec d'autres départements d'informatique de la Qatar Foundation un service qui surveille jour et nuit les réseaux sociaux automatiquement pour essayer d'identifier les postes susceptibles d'être liés à des trafics. Comme ça, le matin, nos experts ils reçoivent des listes de postes et ils voient si c'est une vente légitime ou si ça pourrait être lié à un trafic en comparant avec des catalogues des bibliothèques. Donc c'est un travail de fourmi, mais c'est vraiment important pour garder la mémoire du monde islamique.
Criminals are coming up with increasingly ingenious ways of smuggling and using technology to help them do so.
Les manuscrits ils sont relativement petits par rapport à une pièce d'archéologie. Donc en fait, ça voyage encore plus facilement, ça s'exporte facilement, illégalement, et après ça se revend sur les marchés européens. Donc on a développé depuis 3 ans, en coopération avec Interpol, avec l'Union des douanes internationales et avec d'autres experts, un programme pour lutter très spécifiquement sur la lutte contre les manuscrits islamiques, donc la lutte des trafics. Donc on a une équipe ici qui surveille les ventes, à la fois les ventes aux enchères, mais aussi les ventes sur les réseaux sociaux, parce qu'il y a un changement important où maintenant les gens vont de plus en plus faire ce genre de trafic dans le dark web et dans les réseaux sociaux. C'est moins facile à contrôler par la police. Donc on suit toutes ces activités.
Whether it's the modern techniques used to safeguard the library's personal collection, or the training and workshops being run to prevent the smuggling of priceless manuscripts across the entire region, it's clear that preservation and conservation are 2 very important aims of the PAC Centre and the whole of QNL. There's more to this library than just great books. And that is it for another episode. But as always, if you have any questions, just reach out via our hashtag Qatar365. Thanks for watching. Do check out Euronews.com for more and join us again next time on Qatar365.